Welcome everybody to yet another webinar. This time we're talking about Dianthus, deep dive into technology by Ivan Posniakov, our technical specialist. Feel free to ask questions using the chat function. And good luck. Ivan, take it away.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you. And I would like to say thank you for everybody who able to join us today and for our customers, growers, and flower lovers. And let's start with Dianthus. Today, we will talk about any kind of topics to be successful with the Dianthus. And we, of course, start with our fantastic assortment. Today, we will talk about mostly Dianthus chinensis genetic and Dianthus interspecific or chinensis by Barbatos. And I would like to start to offer to you our line and our line of series or portfolio. We have a very interesting varieties which is suitable for landscape, very suitable for landscaping and for patio pot as well. And we start with one exception variety with an outstanding variety. It's called Charm. It belongs to Dianthus chinensis. It also belongs to F1 genetics. So it means this series very uniform and it has very clear bright red color. So if you would like to display very nice bright carpet, bright red carpet in your landscape, you can use, of course, Charm. Charm is very sustainable and very strong variety. Let's go to the next one, to the next member of our Dianthus team is Super Perfect. Super Perfect is a Dianthus which has bigger flower size than Charm and more branching habit, and it's very sustainable in a landscape. It's a bit more compact than a Charm, but at the same time more branching, as I said. And it has a medium-sized flower. It may to say not small, it's really medium-sized flower. I would like to display here a picture more or less in a close to reality size. And here you can see the flowers really nice. We have already two colors and one mix in this series. And let's go to the another option, Venti Parfait. Venti is it has a really large flowers. It like really big wheels, looks like a wheels. And later on, I will share the picture of this variety in reality together with the people, with the human hands, and you will see really big and huge and very nice, fantastic size of this variety. Size of the flower of this variety, sorry. And in this series, we have already 4 colors and 1 mix. And it's very likely to be in the landscape, especially in the cold area. And I may to say the Dianthus is more suitable for moderate climate, but it's also sustainable in the hot condition. It's able to survive in a temperature region like 25, 27, up to even up to 30. But it prefer honestly the colder conditions. So in these terms of their requirements, I may to say it would be reveal all their opportunity in a more moderate climate. Another fantastic addition from last year is Elation. It's very exceptional variety, is an interspecific genetic that all good that came from the Chinensis and Barbatus Dianthus collected into this genetic. We have 5 very nice and very attractive color and 1 mix. And you can find more information about our Dianthus portfolio in our catalog on the page 38. And I would like to reveal one secret. We have not only annual genetic of Dianthus, we have also perennials Dianthus. So please use the link to know more about our Dianthus portfolio. And let's go to the technical topics. We have 5 components of the success with Dianthus. 1 is a pH. Yes, Dianthus it's as well like Gerbera and other crops sensitive to pH. Another topics, hot start and cold finish. It means crop prefer a more higher temperature in the beginning and less temperature in the finish stage. Feed your plants well. Dianthus really like to eat fertilizer, and it is a good eater. So that's why not forget to provide a very nice soup for this plant. Negative div. What's mean negative div? I will explain later, but it helps you to provide more bushy and more compact habit of the plant. And of course, not forget that is a facultative long day crop. It means the crop more preferable to bloom in the long day condition. And let's go to consider all these items during the production stages, and let's start with the sowing condition. But before we will talk about the sowing condition, I would like to spend a few moments on the seed stage, I mean on the seeds by itself. Please be sure that you receive the plants, you receive your seeds from the reliable source of reliable providers. It will help you to be sure that you will receive a good germination rate and you will receive the quality genetic. And a few words about seed storage. Please keep your seeds far from a source of temperature and source of direct light. The better condition where you can keep your seeds and you will keep your healthy condition in a healthy statement. It's a place with a temperature between 3 and 5 degrees centigrade and the relative humidity 40-60 degrees. And if you're not able to utilize at once all the sachet or all 1,000 or 5,000 seeds, for instance, you utilize just only half of seeds and rest of the seeds still stay in the sachet, please keep your sachet properly, very nice, to very effectively to avoid additional oxygen can come to the seeds, and it will help also, it will provide good condition to avoid any kind of drought out of the drying out of the seeds. So that's why if you're not able to utilize at once all the seeds at once from one sachet, please keep it in the fridge with keep it close in the fridge with the all condition I mentioned. It's like air humidity and the low temperature. And let's go with the sowing stage. Substrate will provide the proper substrate with a proper pH will provide success with not only with the germination but with a later on growth. It is possible to use coco peat. It's very popular substrate in Southeast Asia and South Asia. Of course, peat moss is also a nice component, but less available in this area. But you can use a mix between the coco peat and peat moss. And of course, wood fiber peat is no maybe to say new player in the market, but it able to provide good condition for germination as well. But not hesitate to make your own experience to use a mix of these three types of substrate, and not to forget about area agent. You're able to use a perlite, silage, or vermiculite, but I would like to use in general perlite, because perlite has a made to say the natural pH, natural chemical activity, but salad and vermiculite also can be good area agent, but sometimes vermiculite can bear too high pH, and it able to increase it can increase pH in your substrate. So that's why I would like to advise to use perlite as an aerating agent, and of course not forget to rinse the coco peat well, because coco peat in in general has a quite high concentration of sodium. So that's why if you will rinse it well, you avoid any problem with the sodium concentration and sodium toxicity with your plant. Normally, I advise to use trays with a 288 cell, or it is possible also to sow the Dianthus seeds into the into the sowing beds. Directly into the sowing bed, with the later on transplanting from sowing beds into the trays. It is enough only one seed, because in general Dianthus has a good germination rate, about 85–90%. It is necessary to be covered with a vermiculite or a substrate or a thin substrate layer, and light is not required for germination, so that's why you're able to use any germination chamber. It is also optional to use to increase germination rate and make germination more uniform, and soil temperature quite high. So that's why Dianthus is very effective crop and very a convenient crop to sow in a hot season, in to start the sowing with a high temperature. And please keep in mind that Dianthus not required too high in the substrate. It requires just only level 4. It means if you take the trays filled with the substrate and wet up to level and moistured up to level 4, you will see you will not see free water on the surface of the substrate, and you will see just only separate drops which is coming from bottom holes of the trays, but not water not really easily go through the substrate and trickling down from the bottom holes. So let's go for the germination stage. In the germination stage, you already have to decrease temperature. So that's why I said I advise to use the end of the hot season for the sowing process of Dianthus. Temperature should be decreased up to 90 till 21 degrees centigrade, and Dianthus at this stage already requires quite high level of the light. It requires about 40 kilolux to make to help get a compact habit, and it will help to make more branching habit, and to avoid over application of the PGRs. Here's explanation what kind of part of the season very suitable for sowing. It is end of the hot season. It normally in many regions of South Asia and Southeast Asia, it is in general end of August or beginning of September. So these months are mostly suitable. And here you can see as an example, and you can use your climate temperature template to indicate when the moment will be more more convenient for sowing process. So let's go to the one interesting question: how to provide low temperature if you still has a quite high temperature. One of the best way how to avoid overheating or too high temperature in the greenhouse is to apply outer reflection shading, or outer we may say normal shading. Why I talking about outer shading? Because if you apply inner shading, transfer some of the light into infrared light, and infrared light very easily to stay in to heat up inside a volume air volume of the greenhouse. So that's why I advise to use outer shading. And another approach, a nice approach and quite efficient way how to cool down your greenhouse, it's cooling evaporation. Cooling evaporation will cool down and able to decrease temperature up to 5 degrees compared of outside condition, because water very easily takes any heat from the greenhouse and take it with a vapor out from the greenhouse by the ventilation frames. Otherwise, it's very effective way of cooling down inside inner area of a greenhouse, especially in the combination with the fans. But the best way how to sometimes cooling evaporation can be of the overwatering of the plant. To avoid this situation, I advise to use special screen which can be placed above the trays with the plants, or it is possible to use under the bench, the evaporation system that kept under the bench, and moisturizing area beneath the bench, not above the plants. What we should provide for the plants on the already seedling stage. The young plant stage, on the young plant stage, Dianthus require the same pH range on level 5.5 till 5.8, and the substrate moisture should be decreased and should be slightly decreased from level 4 up to level 3, and should keep between these levels. And another good advice how to provide very healthy plant and very compact plant, because in quiet temperature Dianthus very prone to stretch. So that's why I advise to start with a fertilizer with the first watering. Already on the seedling stage, Dianthus required to get 75 till 125 ppm of nitrogen. It's already made to say the quite high level of the fertilizer. In our former webinars, I explained how to transfer ppm of nitrogen into the grams of the fertilizer into the water. So that's why today I will not stop a lot on this topic, and I would like to just remind about the decay rate. And decay rate should be should be applied like this example: 15-5-15, 15-3-15, or 18-5-15. This kind of combination, you can note that this kind of combination has a quite low concentration of the phosphorus. I advise it every time, and I would like to repeat it every time, not apply too much phosphorus for any kind of plant which grown in the greenhouse in the small volume of the substrate. And a low concentration of the phosphorus will help to avoid any problem with the pH. Of course, advise what you shouldn't do with your plants. Not use a high phosphorus, as I advised formerly, not use a ureum, not use a clean water anymore, and not use a dry fertilizer, because dry fertilizer not very effective, and in one hand, in other hand, it can injure the plants by the high local concentration of the fertilizer. Let's go to the plant protection. Young plants of Dianthus and ready plants as well, sensitive mostly for the botrytis and alternaria, but very oftenly especially in the hot climate condition and especially in wet season, I found that pythium also can injure the plant and can damage plant very dramatically. So here I put the 3 most common diseases for Dianthus and most common chemicals which can help you to avoid any kind of diseases. And please not forget about biological protection. I will mention this later on when I explain that how to keep the plants on that transplanting and growing and vegetative stage after transplanting, not forget to apply biological protection, because biological protection, it long-term protection, and it will help to reduce chemical application. But because we have one really strong issue with the chemical application is resistance, because if you apply too much time the same chemical, or too frequently the same chemical, you can find that later on it will not work anymore, because fungus and insects can receive significant resistance against this chemical through a multiple application, through multiple repeated application of the chemicals, and biological protection will help to avoid over application of the chemicals. And of course, as you start to prepare the substrate mixture, please use the biological base chemicals. For instance, on the base of a trichoderma, here I put example of trichodermic chemicals. And of course, you can pick any kind of combination, and even you able to use vermicompost and some kind of compounds like rice husk or natural soils, if you apply biological protection. Trichoderma from this kind of protection or bacterial-based chemicals will help to kill or eliminate any kind of very strong and very dangerous fungus and bacteria inside the this kind of components like vermicompost and natural soils. And of course, not forget about the pH level. And let's start with the transplanting. You can use even the bigger size of the bigger size of the pot or of the how to say it jar for the hanging basket, sorry, for the Dianthus. But if you would like to use this kind of bigger pots, bigger containers, you can use the filling agent. Filling agent will help to avoid overwatering and will help to make these kind of pots not very heavy. And what kind of filling components you're able to use? This is cocoa chips. It big size cocoa. How to say, the big size of the cocoa cork and bark. These kind of agents will help to avoid overwatering. It will help to aerate your substrate well, and it will help also to make not too heavy, to make a lighter your pots and your containers. So that's why it's possible to use not only the small containers for Dianthus, it's also possible to different size of the containers from the packs up to 30, even 30 centimeters hanging baskets and containers. And of course, about other condition of our circumstances in the greenhouse, the day temperature should be decreased up to 18 till 20 degrees. But I would like to say we try to grow Dianthus in many locations. I may say that we have experienced that Dianthus very sustainable also with the temperature up to 23 and higher, up to 25, 27 degrees centigrade. So that's why not afraid to use a more higher temperature, but provide good fertilizer to make the plant more compact. And of course, light intensity. You are able already to increase the light intensity up to 50 kilolux and even 60 or 70 kilolux, but optimal range is 35-50 kilolux. And to provide more compact plants, use a negative diff. What's mean negative diff? Normally, we have a difference between day and night temperature in the natural condition in this kind of combination. In daytime, we have a high temperature. In nighttime, we have a lower temperature. But there is a one tricky thing how to help plant to reduce the stretching is a negative diff. In the morning, 3 hours after sunrise, if you keep temperature 3-6 degrees higher than the night temperature, you will provide a more compact plant. It is mean negative diff. So, or if you apply night temperature 3-6 degrees higher than day temperature, it also will provide more compact habit of the plant. And let's go to talk about other condition like pH level and the feeding of the crop or fertigation level. At this stage, it is also necessary to keep the same pH range on the between the 5.5 up to 5.9 and provide the plant with a good fertilizer. Here I put a substrate medium extract EC. It should be on quite high level from 1.5 up to 2.1. Honestly, here you can find the fertigation already should be increased up to 125 till 175 ppm of nitrogen. It's quite high. The same fertigation level also provided for the that crops as a Catranthus, as a Tagetes, or Helianthus, which really likes to eat mineral fertilizer. So I made to say Dianthus. It's also how to say really fatty crop, made to say, in the crop which is like to eat a lot. So the moisture level at this stage should be even lower when in the seedling stage. It means you need to let dry substrate between two irrigation to keep it in the level between 4 and 2. And between irrigation, you should keep substrate level, watering level of the substrate on the medium dry on the level 2. It will provide compact plant habit in one hand. In the other hand, it will provide good condition, good aeration for the roots. And again, about fertilizer. Formerly, I explained I wouldn't like to stop a lot on the calculation, but here I offer another example of calculation. Here you can find how to recalculate 125 ppm of nitrogen into the milligrams. If you will follow up this advice step by step, you can recalculate, and you can use this algorithm to recalculate any kind of ppms into the nitrogen level. And here you can see this type of nitrogen level 125 will provide about 800 of milligrams or 0.8 grams per liter, and it will provide 1.2 1.4 millisiemens per centimeter of EC. And so not forget about the calcium and magnesium in the to add into the watering solution, but not directly with the NPK rate. I advise to use a separate application of calcium and magnesium in between of you apply water with the NPK with the full fertilizer with NPK. The reason is because NPK fertilizer, complete NPK fertilizer, mostly lack of the calcium. So that's why I advise to apply after every 5th or 6th watering calcium and magnesium fertilizer. And another factor, critical factor, which affects on the plant health. Here you can see the results of the experiments, how day length affects on the blooming. And here you can see the short day condition promote slightly lower and slightly smaller quantity, slightly lower blooming and slightly lower quantity of the flowers rather than long day condition. So if you would like to push your plants to the blooming stage, you are able to provide long day condition. One of easiest way to provide long day condition is a night interrupt. What does mean night interrupt? During the nighttime, it is possible to apply not really strong light level from the artificial light up to 1.5 or till 3 hours, just only 1.5 hours, sometime enough to interrupt the long night. By this approach, you're able to provide able to let the plant feel it is long day out in now it is long day condition. So with this application you're able to provide the plant a long day condition, so it will help to produce to receive the plant in more it will help you to provide for the plant condition which help to produce a more quantity of the flower buds and more faster than you use a normal day condition. I mean the natural day condition, 12 hours, or short day condition. And of course, how to prepare Dianthus for blooming. One of the best approach is to change NPK rate to increase the potassium level in the NPK combination. And here you can find the examples like 15-5-20 or 10-5-20. If you provide this type of fertilizer to the plants, you will help to receive more, to bring the more flower bud and more flowers and more strong flowers, which will be more sustainable in the hot and dry condition. And in the picture on the left side of the slide, you can see very nice example of the huge plant, huge flower size. This picture taken in India, and here you can see even at the time when I took that picture, the temperature, outside temperature, was about 27 degrees. And here you can see the plant able to produce good flower condition, good flower quality, even in this high temperature. So that's why if you would like to receive a good plants with a good habit and which covered with many flowers, which totally covered with the flowers, you should follow these top 5 topics which we consider, which we which we followed by this presentation, and you will receive the good results. So at this stage, at this moment, I would like to finalize the presentation. If you have a question, please not hesitate to reach out Amjad, Gautam, or me, this team for South Asia or Southeast Asia. You can use email that mentioned here in this slide, and please not forget to reach out our site www.syngenta@flowers.com. I wish you good success with the Dianthus, and of course good season, good starting of the season, and good starting of the next year, of course. And thank you for your time. I think we have to finalize the presentation at this moment. Michael, thank you for introduce me in the beginning, and I give you I give you time for the finalize of the presentation.
Yes, thank you, Ivan, for again an excellent presentation. We only have very limited time for questions because Ivan is presenting from a location currently, and he has only limited a power supply in his battery of his laptop. But we have a few more minutes for people to post a question in the Q&A if required, and of course you can always reach out to the team members that Ivan mentioned at the end of his presentation. So I don't see any questions coming from the audience. So with that, I thank you again for participating and wish you all a very successful growing season and a very nice day. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.